We're trying to do our best to understand the free-to-play economy now that we're in the age of fear. There's a lot going on, so we got a couple metrics that we're going to try to track, see if we can figure out where things are and where things are going. Not the most tech-savvy cat, so we went about this the old school way. Pen and paper, we're just putting in where we finished every day, where we began every day when we start our play session, and we're keeping track of these items here. Now, what we did is we put this information into Gemini just so we could have a conversation, as it were, with the numbers, try to find trends, see if we can find some patterns. We'll be collecting this information over time. Let me know how things are working out for you. Now, full disclosure, if we go down here to the bottom right-hand side, these last two numbers, this 288 and this 803.8, it thought that those were threes. So we corrected that, but again, the error is still in our favor. It lowballed us. All the information here, as you can see, the main numbers are my main account, and the ones in parentheses are my baby accounts. We're tracking both accounts simultaneously, again, looking for different connections. Maybe there's some type of pattern we can pick up, and we can see what individuals are doing, what they're able to do realistically. So we shoved all the numbers in here, and it gave us this nice little report. So we're going to kind of see how it's going. There is one disclaimer. I've only been doing it for the last 10 days. So we only have 10 days of information, but we'll keep building on this month over month. It says Marvel Strike Force free to play economy report. This is our empirical data tracker 10-day event. We're going from May 23rd to June 2nd. So all the numbers that you see and all the symbols that you see, if they're in this baby blue here, that's going to actually be my main account. And then if it's in this purple, then that's going to be the baby account. So we're looking for patterns once again. Let's see what we can do when we get into the information. So this is a free to play baseline database. So look at all of the items that we're going to try to track. We have our gold, our training materials, both gold and purple, power cores, tier 4 ability materials. We have our basic gold orbs and our level gold orbs. Since we have that new level gold orb, we want to keep track of that, see how many of those we're getting. Same deal with the training orbs and the level training orbs. We also have ability orbs, and it says they're unified shop credits. Now, the reason why it says that is because, again, this AI, it was confused. It said, well, hey, you got, what's your arena rewards? What's your raid rewards? What's your raid credits? And we had to remind it, hey, none of that is happening anymore. All that is one thing. So it called them unified shop credits. So we have our information. The numbers there in white are from the main account. The numbers in purple are for the baby account. So we go over to our 10-day sign here. Everything is bonus, right? Everything's plus. We have a net positive of all resources with the exception. We'll start at the bottom there with the exception of shop credits. So shop credits, again, they're important. They're important. That's how, especially as free-to-play players, especially as newer and mid-game players, that's how we get our characters. That's how we get our gear. And we're running through that resource a lot, right? At a pretty good clip. On the end game account, negative 270,000. When they give us those codes, it's usually, I think the last one was 500,000. So we've already eaten halfway through that. So just something to keep in mind. A couple other very, very interesting points here. If we look at our training materials, so the gold training materials are very low on the new player side when compared with the end game account. Purples, we actually got more than the end game account. Well, how could that be? Again, it's because we have access to some of those legendary events, old dark dimensions, and we're just trying to do what we can in those areas. Maybe we didn't even unlock the older legendary character, but we were able to do some of the content, get some of the rewards, and that comes out to be perhaps training materials or gold. So even if your intent is not to unlock those older characters, go after them, check into those things every once in a while. They seem to rotate on a week or 2 week basis. So just kind of check and see what's available. Maybe you can get a little bit farther and get a few more rewards in your currency. Another concerning number here is power cores. We're definitely going up. I know we're not using them for a whole lot, but we're still definitely going up. But on that newer account, we only at this 10-day mark, we're almost 1,000, but not quite, right? Almost 1,000, but not quite in the positive for power cores. So we're using power cores to refresh our campaign energy every day. We're doing the 50s, and we're doing it with ISO 8 energy. We're doing the 50s. Again, using power cores to do that. And it's kind of tight. The amount that we have coming in with the amount we have going out it's pretty close, right? It's pretty narrow. There is a positive. There is a net positive, but the margin for error is pretty narrow. So just be careful, right? There's some different information out there about how much we should be using our power cores on the free to play side. Again, this is only 10 days of information, but still it shows that the margin is very narrow. Tier 4 ability materials. This is something that's concerning. Again, on the end game account, we got plenty. We actually did a higher amount on the newer account, but again, that's because we were going back and doing some of those older legendary events. I have not been spending tier 4 ability materials. I'm not sure that there's enough to level up whole teams. I think what we're going to do is wait until we get to the Symbiote 6 free to play. I think that'll be a good test and see if we can fill in all the tier 4s, not the basic, but generally speaking, all the tier 4s from that point forward. We'll see what happens. Let me know how tier 4s are going for you, especially if you were a newer player, mid-game player, maybe even if you've only been playing for 2 to 3 years. Do you have enough tier 4 ability materials to keep your characters up and running? We do have a positive again with these gold and training orbs. Make sure we're farming that in the campaigns, right? So in the hard mode campaigns, make sure we're doing that last section of each chapter there. There's gold orbs, there's training orbs. Do that every day. There's no other reason. We're playing free to play. Get the things that you can. We're having a net positive. We're able to get a couple of these orbs, 1 or 2 for the most part, every day. And while we're in between building, that's going to help us hopefully to be able to build our characters. We haven't built anything in a while. It believes that we built Shadow Conclave and Angel. We've built both of those teams, but they weren't included here. We did not build Angel on the baby account, so that'll be coming up. We'll be taking note of that. We'll see what effect that has on next month's economy audit. We do also have these ability orbs. So again, remember the ability orbs are there. You can get tier 4s out of that. It's random, but you do get some tier 4s out of that. We will continue to hoard that resource on the baby account and see what happens in the near future. On the end game account, I still have plenty. We're not running low. We're running a small surplus. It's not much. Well, these are orbs. So, I mean, it's a decent amount. These are orbs. Okay. These are orbs, just so you know, not just individual items. So these are 143 extra orbs that we got in the surplus there. But we'll see. We seem to have plenty of tier 4 ability materials on the end game account. So this is the gold audit. Free to play gold hordes. It says it's exploding, right? So this, again, only 10 days. It's only 10 days, but we have net positive on the new player side of 75 million gold. We have not had to dip into those orbs. This is just what we've been able to use from what we had. On the baby account, we have a surplus so far of 34 million gold. And this is just from playing the game. Still same thing. Have not dipped into those orbs. One of the things that points out here at the bottom, we hoarded the gold orbs and we have a surplus now of 12 basic and 4 level 4 gold orbs on that baby account through raw game mode payouts and daily play. Not super surprising, but the point there is it is going up. We will take note when we start building characters. We're not building anything right now. We will take note when we start building characters and keep an eye on how that goes. Progression, scaling, divergence. This is because we have, again, those 2 different accounts. And it's very interesting to see the numbers between the 2. We're trying to get an idea of what's going on, what different players might need. So it says over there on the end game maintenance, that's the main account. These are our training materials that we're talking about right now. It says we have over 1,100 gold materials, 2,500 purple materials. We haven't really used anything, so we're on the up and up. It says we built Shadow Conclave and Angel, but once again, we did that before we started doing this. Now, here's the point on the other side, on the baby account, catch-up velocity. We have 3,300 purple training materials, which is more than we got on the endgame account. Again, we're putting that to going back, doing old Dark Dimensions, legendary characters. Don't forget about those things. Don't forget about those things. You don't necessarily, again, have to go all the way through and maybe unlock the item. But hey, you can get through another node. You can get through a couple more pieces of a campaign, a legendary campaign or something like that. Go ahead and do it. Get some of those training materials so you can use them as you're powering up. So it says here targeted injections. So we have milestones and progression tier rewards that flood mid-tier accounts with massive catch-up stocks. So I don't know about massive catch-up stocks, but there are milestones that pop up from time to time that the endgame player isn't going to have. They're just there to kind of help push you forward. For example, the Gear Fest, it works a little bit differently on a newer account. You can continue to bankroll that while you're powering up, right? If it starts out at, gear tier 8, 9, 10, 11, right? You can take advantage of all that while you continue to power up. But notice this down here, the gold bottleneck, because we can't do the same amount of content. We were only able to get 322 gold training materials, which is much less than we were able to get on the end game account. So we're kind of slowed down. Again, we're not going to gear tier 20 yet. We're only level 95, which I believe is gear tier 18 that we can get to at this time. So maybe we don't need as much, but just the fact that we simply can't do everything, right? We can't do all the milestones and things of that nature. So we're not able to progress as quickly. We're not sure when that's going to flip, but we'll continue to keep an eye on it. So here's something that was very surprising, the shop credit drain. So once again, the top one there is our main account. We chewed through 270,000 shop credits. We got millions. We're fine on the end game account. That's about half of what they gave us. But on the baby account, we are in excess of what they gave us recently. We are negative 536 accounts. Now, this is just 536,000 shop credits. And this is just in 10 days. So all I'm doing is buying the characters that we're working on, the teams that we're working on. I don't have like a wish list and say, oh, well, that person would be nice and this would be nice. We're not doing that. If we have the team unlocked and we're working on that team, then we're getting shards for that character. And as we bring those characters up, we have to use shop credits to fill in the gaps. We don't have a giant hoard of old teal gear, for example. We don't have any of that. We have to earn all of our teal gear. So we empty all our orbs every day. And then we have to buy the rest. And so we're still operating at a deficit. And as we've been going for a while, we've seen we were in the millions. There was a time we were at 5 million shop credits. And now we are at, if you see here, 800,000. We're going to keep going. But the difference between the two is dizzying, right? It said the baby account suffered a massive 40%. 40% of our stash gone. Buying character shards to lock down our basic roster needs. So when it comes to your shop credits, if it seems like you have a lot, take care of them. You cannot buy everything. Do not have a wish list. There was talk about, this winter guard stats and it's post winter guard pre-winter. You can't buy all that stuff. Work on whoever it is that you're actively working on. Get those individuals up and go forward from there. You are going to run out at some point. So it's talking about power cores and tier 4 ability materials. So we're not super concerned about power cores. We're in the plus on both sides there. Not a huge plus on the baby account. But again, as we look over here at tier 4s, we're in the bonus. We're in the plus, we're in the positive, and we did get more tier 4s on the baby account than we did on the main account, again, because we were able to use some of those other events and things of that nature. So we have growth versus deficits here. Again, the machine believes that I built a bunch of characters, which we didn't do. So it's telling us that we did really good with our gold. We don't know about that. We haven't built the characters, or we did build the characters, but not during the part that we were counting. So Malekith, we should be able to get a hold of him soon, and then we'll be moving into the rest of the Exalted X-Men. And we'll know this time next month, we'll have a much better understanding of what's going on. But we already are seeing a problem here on the purple side, right? Consolidated store choke deficit. The shop credit bleeding, right? We just talked about it, but it's important to continue to talk about it, right? 40% inventory drop. While progression level currency is overflowing, the choke point has successfully shifted to gear and shards. So just having to build those extra things, not extra, right? We just don't have any backlog of resources to fall back on. So as the economy changes, we're just asking Marvel Strike Force to keep people in mind who haven't been playing for years. We just don't have the amount of things that other people do. When we run out, then you're just dead in the water and you have to wait until you're able to get more. You can roll the dice with orbs, but orbs are random. They're random and we need tons, right? So every level, think about that. Every level of gear we have to go through. And the higher you get, the more of it you need. So what we have with the shop credits, I mean, they're holding their own for now, but I am running out. I am running out. It says early and mid accounts suffer exponentially faster drain because they need shards and gear tier upgrades. Very true. So this is Gemini also throwing shade at Marvel Strike Force. I don't know why. Community debate. Is Scopely slowly suffocating the store, the unified store, so that's the shop credits, while distracting us with an artificial gold abundance? Drop your bottlenecks in the chat. So I like that. Obviously, I don't think that they're choking the credit store, the shop credits. Yep. I don't think that they're choking that resource. I think it's just kind of, I don't want to say oversight. We're playing from two different sides here. Ultra endgame players don't need it. New players, mid-game players, people that haven't been playing for a long time, they really need it. The more that you put into the economy, though, especially now that we can get Crimson Gear, it kind of disrupts the balance a little bit. I get that. The artificial gold abundance we're going to have to see, I don't think that's a thing, right? They're saying that in relation to, it believes I did things that I didn't do. But we have had an abundance of gold, less training materials. So one of those two things are usually the bottleneck. Right now, it looks like for a lot of people, it's training materials. So make sure that you're farming those nodes. Make sure that you're claiming the things in the milestones. Make sure you're doing all the little extra stuff. There's a lot of little free-to-play milestones that people aren't paying attention to. Make sure we're doing those things and picking up the stuff that we need to.